And I said on Sunday, this title is going to be decided on Arsenal versus City, City versus Liverpool. That's what it's going to be decided on. Nothing else, because they're going to smash the rest of the teams at the right times. I think those big games that we're going to see on in the next few months are going to be massive.
Yeah, and Arsenal have got a lot of those big games still to come. They've still got to go to the Etihad at the end of March. They've still got to go to Tottenham, Gary. They've still got to go to Old Trafford as well. So, 3 of the toughest games of the season still await them, and actually quite a few weeks away. They'd almost like them right now, wouldn't they, the way they're playing?
Yeah, I think so. I think what's crucial is, we spoke on, I seem to remember we spoke on here about sort of four or five games ago, and we were talking about them not signing a striker in the transfer window and how that could be crucial, because at that point, they weren't scoring goals. They weren't clinical enough around the box in the type of games that Gareth spoke about. And then all of a sudden, typical of the Premier League and typical of quality, form, confidence, they score 16 goals in 4 games, and all of a sudden we're speaking about them being right back on it, Yeah. So I think it just shows you what the quality and the difference in quality of those top teams. If you look at someone like Aston Villa, are just struggling to keep up with it as good as they've been. But I still think, this is not a criticism, I still think that when push comes to shove, I still think Man City and Liverpool just have a tiny bit more at the top end of the pitch in every game.
Do you think that is because, so for me, when Arsenal are purring and they're playing well and they look good, they're incredible. But I feel like when they're not necessarily playing their best, they don't have that little bit extra that Man City and Liverpool have just to push themselves over the line.
And I think also we're talking, that's why I said it's not a criticism. We're talking at the top of the top end, aren't we? They're all absolutely out of this world teams and managers, but the differences are so minute and so small. And I think at the moment, that's a bit you would say they need to show in the big games when the pressure comes on. Have they got enough to score in all sorts of games?
That's the Premier League. I think when teams go toe-to-toe, Arsenal could beat anyone when they come out. It's the ones who sit back and want to go and play anti-football against them. That's when they struggle. That's when they need the poacher, the clinical finisher, the one who scruffy finish, gets one in from nothing. All of a sudden, the team who wants to play anti-football hasn't got a plan B, has to come out, and they get ripped apart.
Having said that, an injury to Haaland, then that puts Arsenal on top of them because they haven't got the striker they can play. All these things come into it, keeping your players fit, the running. Yeah. It's going to be a hell of a finish to the Premier League.
Isn't it just